Hi everyone, I'm going to go over some Zoom basics, tips, and tricks. So hopefully it'll help you instructors that will be doing some upcoming Zoom deliveries. You might know all of this, some of it, but hopefully there'll be assistance in preparing and coordinating for your future trainings. So just the agenda, we're going to cover administrative support by NDPTC, your instructor setup, the different Zoom accounts, getting class started, navigating the different meeting icons, sharing slides, engaging participants, whether it be through poll questions or the breakout rooms, the activity, taking breaks, and handling issues. So administrative support by NDPTC. On the back end, we'll provide as much technical support for the participants as we can. We'll scan the Zoom group chat, respond to Zoom chats, take it on the side and private message the participants that are having maybe audio or video difficulty or just logging in maybe through the NDPTC site. We will assist them. We go through the chat. We'll even take them on the side via email. We'll provide the support for all of your administrative paperwork. So participant registration, that's going to happen online. We'll make sure participants are registered. They complete their pre-test and post-test, that they attend both days if it's for an 8-hour class, and that they attend in full at least 75% of the class. And for the chat transcript, we'll save the Zoom group chat and send it to the participants. So we encourage you to provide links, resources, even during within the Zoom group chat. So instructor setup, there are different ways. Instructors can have one screen or two screens. The visual background, there's a virtual background that you can use. Some of you may not be able to use it. Maybe it's the speed or the model of your computer, the operating system. Essentially, just make sure the background is professional. We understand that everyone's working from home, so you have to work with what you have. So just try to minimize the clutter. I mean, I closed my closet and try to remove as much things as possible, but I do got some of my own personal things in the background. Background noise, I have to be aware that when I do the class in the morning here, which is afternoon for most of you, there's going to be chickens running around here by my house. I can hear them clearly. Also, the landscapers will be outside, and in my area, there happens to be a lot of construction lately. So those are things I do need to consider and make sure I take care of myself and make sure I mute the audio. My audio, internet speed. You have what you have with what you're working with, but just keep in mind that the bandwidth, you are streaming, you are sharing, your video is on, your audio is on, that all takes up from your bandwidth. So there can be hiccups, little freezes along the way. So you're going to want to practice during the time that you would deliver the class, because that can also test the internet speed. And if there's any background noise, if you have family, you might want to, inform people just of what you're doing so that there's limited background noise. Also, you might want to limit the amount of people that are on the internet or streaming Netflix, TikTok, or Hulu, just so that you have the most speed. And communication. How are you going to communicate with your co-instructor? If you have a co-instructor for this class, is it through text? Are you going to call them? Are you going to use Google Chat, Slack? Whichever way, make sure you have a way to get an immediate contact with your co-instructor if need be during the delivery. I do not recommend using the Zoom group chat because it can get bogged down by all of the other comments, questions that the participants will have inputted in the Zoom group chat. Hang tight. All right, Zoom account for instructor access. Before we get into that, make sure you update your Zoom desktop client, or if you're using an app on your mobile device. Zoom does release updates regularly. Just right before I logged on, I had to run a Zoom update. So make sure that you update your Zoom desktop client. NDPTC has 3 accounts, NDPTC Zoom 1, 2, or 3 for you to utilize. There is going to be a sign-up sheet because we cannot have more than one person signed up on the same account when you are utilizing it, either to practice, especially on delivery day. So you will need to look at that sign-up sheet, and when you are done, make sure you completely sign off, whether it's signing off through the web interface or the desktop client. Make sure you sign off just just so that we're sure that you will not log in later. It's happened before. So again, only one person can use the account. You will be logging in automatically as NDPTC Zoom 1 or 2. So you're going to want to name yourself. So it's NDPTC instructor name or instructor name NDPTC. So if I were instructor, it'd be Mel Panera, NDPTC instructor. So, you know, those are things when you're using an NDPTC instructor account, you'll just have to take into consideration. When you're creating polls, make sure you're signed into the correct account. Your delivery has a specific account that it was scheduled on. You will be given that information right around the time you receive your assignment. So you'll know which login you'll use and which delivery scheduled meeting you will create those poll questions under. It's very good just to, so when we're logging in, participants come in, you're gonna wanna make sure that all participants have the right name. So their name that they're in the Zoom group chat will reflect what's on the NDPTC website that they registered with. We are there to help you because we need to help reconcile those names just so that we can make sure we take accurate attendance. If there are phone numbers that are listed, you might see in the participant list that there's gonna be an 808 yada yada phone number. We'll need to identify those individuals. One, we can see if we can merge them, or two, if we cannot merge them, we'll need to rename them. So if I'm on and I also call in, we're gonna wanna put, you know, Mel Panera, her audio. So Mel Panera audio, just so that we can pair these two accounts when we do breakout rooms. You don't want like one breakout room had your video and the other breakout room just has your audio. It just probably wouldn't be the best or most effective way to participate. So we would want to pair those two together and be in the same breakout room. So getting class started. So many of you have taken our classes. When you've entered, when you've logged in, you've entered a waiting room. So now on the other side as instructors, how long do you want to utilize that waiting room? Do you want to utilize it right up until the class starts and then wait till majority of the participants come in and then admit everybody? Or a lot of other instructors just admitted everybody 5 minutes before or 10 minutes before and had a countdown. That is really entirely up to you. If you and your co-instructor are good to go, everything is ironed out, logistics, technology, we can admit people early on. When you begin, you know, you're gonna wanna briefly go over some housekeeping. It's always nice to remind participants, you know, if they're not speaking, make sure you're muted. Turn off your camera when you step away. It's very important to turn off both your audio and your camera when you step away, just so that we don't hear or see anything that the participant doesn't want us to see. A good rule of thumb is we don't require participants to use their camera, but maybe a good rule of thumb is when they speak, they can turn on the camera. And really encourage during the breakout activities, they should turn on their camera, because I can tell you that majority of the participants will not turn their camera on when we're just in the main Zoom meeting room. And that's going to be a little bit harder for instructors to figure out body language, eye contact, and just how to engage participants. So just keep that in mind. You won't be able to see a lot of these participants on the other side. So probably it'd be good to encourage them to turn on their camera when they're speaking, but always make sure you don't have your mic on when you're not speaking. There's a lot of background noise, and NDPTC will try to help minimize all of that background noise, and in being vigilant in turning off cameras that probably shouldn't be on. Test the audio. You know, participants should test it, instructors should test it. Like, does everybody hear me? Put a yes or no in the participant reaction, thumbs up, hands clap. This way you can test your audio and the microphone. In addition to that, you can see if people know how to use the reactions without directly telling people hit yes or hit no by going to the participant list. Just casually mention it. So as instructors, you have the ability to turn off a person's video. You can also mute all and unmute all. If you do mute all, make sure that you unmute the instructor, because if you're not the one speaking and you hit mute all, it will mute your co-instructor. Maybe ask participants how familiar they are with Zoom. Now that we are several months into our stay at home and doing Zoom, people are more familiar with Zoom than they are when we started in April. So we are really fortunate now that people, I don't want to, they're becoming really familiar and almost masters at what they need to know to get through the class. But what they need to know to get through the class might not be what you need them to know, because you want them to be able to fully engage. So you want them to know how to use the reactions, all of the meeting icons, things that we're going to start getting into now shortly. Navigating meeting icons. So at the bottom, you'll see the different meeting icons. You'll see mute, video, chat, share screen, reactions. We'll just start off with reactions. So we're going to go over reactions, raising hand, the participant list, the Zoom chat box. It'll be a good place to put in your introductions, especially for a 4-hour class. You might not really want to have everybody individually introduce themselves. So the Zoom group chat is very good. Just have them put their name, agency, position in there. Good place to network, good place for you and the participants to drop in some resources. All right, so first we're gonna go off to reactions. I'm gonna share a little video of myself demonstrating the reactions, and then we will resume and then have some question and answers.
Okay, let's briefly go over reactions. It'll be at the bottom right. Reactions will help you as an instructor so you can quickly gauge the participants. As an instructor, you can have them utilize the clap hands or thumbs up. If as a participant you press it here, it'll appear on your actual screen, on your profile picture, if you see so. And then it'll go away after a few seconds. If you want more features, you'll hit more on the participant list. You'll see thumbs up, thumbs down, coffee cup, clap hands, yes or no for those quick close-ended questions, go faster, go slower, just to let the instructor know the speed that they're going, if it's too fast or too slow. Anytime that you press any of these meeting icons, it'll appear on the participant list. So as you can see right here, it'll appear on the participant list. So again, reactions are very helpful for you as an instructor to gauge the participants and also to engage with them, just so they can give you those quick answers, yes or no, or good job, or like, can everybody hear me? Thumbs up, yes, no. That's very important for you to utilize that. And then also keep an eye on the participant list so you can see who's giving you those reactions. And then you can also clear all after you're done responding to the reactions.
Okay, well, that was reactions. Next, we're going to go on to the next slide. So, raise hand. We'll get into that.
Before I go on to discuss the raise hand feature, I wanted to just go over something quickly. So as an instructor, you're going to be a host or a co-host. You can mute everybody, mute all. So say you can't tell who forgot to turn off their microphone, just mute everybody. But if your co-instructor is presenting, when you hit mute all, it will mute them. So either give them a heads up or unmute them very quickly. Another thing is you have the ability to ask somebody to start their video or in turn turn off their video. So if somebody forgets to turn off their video, maybe they're eating or maybe it's just an uncomfortable video, like it would make you feel uncomfortable if that was you, by all means, turn it off. They probably forgot to turn off the camera. So be kind and just turn it off for them. So, okay, real quick. Now I'm gonna go into raise hand. So say there's a big class, we're hoping for big classes, you're going to want to use the raise hand feature when you ask questions. For a smaller class, you'll probably tell participants, oh, you can mute yourself, unmute yourself, and then answer. But with bigger classes, you'll want the participant to raise hand. So on the participant list, as a participant, you'll have the raise hand feature with the other reactions. So you'll raise hand. You'll see it on the participant list right here, and then you'll also see it on the profile. Once you've addressed the question, you can lower the hand either on the profile picture here, or you can go to the participant list and lower the hand. So once it's done, hey, Mel, we took care of it, done. And then move on to the next participant. Again, this is something that's going to be very helpful for you to engage with your participants, and get them, encourage them to participate. Just talk, discuss. If that doesn't work, we'll go into the Zoom group chat box and then go from there.
All right, so now let's talk about the participant list and Zoom chat box. Very important resources, and very important for you to know how to use, as well as participants, so you can really engage them during your instruction.
Okay, so this is how I have my desktop set up so I can see everything. I'll have the Zoom meeting right in front of me, and if I'm sharing any PowerPoint, it'll appear right in front of me. Then I'll have the participant list and the Zoom group chat on the side so that I could see them both at the same time. So if I'm presenting, I can see the reactions that are popping up on the participant list. And also, if anyone's asking questions in the Zoom group chat, I'll be able to answer them. So it kind of depends on how you want it set up. I just encourage you to practice, because once we start, things do look different. So just kind of anticipate different things happening when the class starts. So it'd be good to get a good idea of how you want things set up. So let's go into the Zoom group chat. This is a great place for participants to put in their intro. So their name, the position that they are, that they hold, what agency. A great place to put resources. So as an instructor, maybe you want to put other FEMA links or just other maybe data, resources in general. This is a good place. If you want to network, maybe you want to share your website, social media, your Facebook, your Instagram. This is the place to put it right here. At the end of the day, I'll clean it up and I'll share it with all the participants. So I encourage you, please use the Zoom group chat, not only to ask questions, technical questions or course material questions, but even as a way to get people to participate. Say people are not engaging and openly discussing, whatever you're talking about at that moment. Just have them put in answers in the Zoom group chat. It's fairly invasive. People will be just typing away. That's a good way to get people started. Then you'll step away, and then they'll start raising their hands, hopefully, and then you can take it from there. But the Zoom group chat is a really good place to start engaging, for resources, and to network. So learn how to use the Zoom group chat. You can add files, you can add website links, you can message everybody, or you could just message somebody specifically in the participant list. Okay, so this.
All right, so sharing slides. There are different ways that you can share slides and different reasons why they look different. Are you sharing from a Windows computer or a Mac? Are you sharing PowerPoint, Google Slides, or Keynote? Do you want to share them off of your own desktop, or do you want to access it remotely? What other types of things are you going to be sharing other than the PowerPoint? Do you have other videos on your computer or photos that you want to share? Again, I can recommend only one thing: practice. What does it look like once you share it and you're in a Zoom meeting? You'll want to get familiar with how it feels, how quickly, if there's any delays, how quickly and seamless it will be as you're going through the slides. So again, practice. So I'm going to go over just an easy way on sharing slides. This is going to be through my Windows computer, and I'm using PowerPoint. So give me a second.
All right, I'm going to quickly show you how to share a PowerPoint. I'm using a Windows computer and I'm using PowerPoint. So it will probably have it'll look different if you're using a Mac or if you're using Keynote or sharing from Google Slides. I do have a document that shows you how to share those different types of slides. If you don't have it, ask me and I'll send it to you. So first, I need to share what my desktop looks like so that you can navigate with me. 1, 2, 3. Okay, right now you should see my desktop. It'll have the participant list and the Zoom chat on the left, and in front will be the Zoom platform. So there's going to be the participant, which is baby me, and the speaker, which obviously is me too. And on the top, it'll have who's sharing, which is me again. Button to stop sharing, pause sharing, or if I want to share something new. So that's that with that. You'll go to the bottom where it says share screen. Hold on one moment. Go to share screen. Go to share screen, and then make sure you select PowerPoint. The PowerPoint icon, the actual file. You're gonna click share computer sound. It's an NDPTC PowerPoint, so there's most likely sound from the video. At the end of the presentation, there's the NDPC video. Just a word of caution, you'll want to test it out beforehand with the sound because sometimes the audio is a little bit louder on the participant end than it is what the instructor can hear. So be considerate, just test it out so it's not too loud. And then once I hit share, you'll see it either in slideshow or edit view, whichever I have it set already on my computer. There are different ways to share and as a instructor, different ways for you to see it. So if you just want to see it in an individual window, you can do that. If you want to see your presentation notes on the screen as well, there's a setting for that. Again, I do have a document that shows you the different ways to view the PowerPoint. Also, if those preferences don't give you what you want to see, it could also be a display preference. If you're using one monitor versus two monitor, depending on which one is 1 and 2, you'll want to double check those preferences. Like I said, practice, 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 so you'll know what you're gonna see come delivery day. All right, great.
Okay, that wasn't so hard, right? Easy peasy. Let's go on. So biggest thing for these deliveries that is the biggest value in an actual face-to-face delivery is engaging participants. So we need to be able to see how we can transfer engaging participants in an actual class and transfer to this Zoom delivery. It's going to be different, but we're going to try to do what we can with the resources and tools we have through Zoom. So you're going to ask questions. Use that raise hand feature. Call on participants. Don't be shy. Have them raise their hands. Call on them. Then participants can unmute themselves. Utilize the polling features. Use it for knowledge checks. Though the polling feature is anonymous, or you can make it not anonymous. Utilize the breakout rooms. You don't only have to use it for the activities. If there's discussion that would have better value if it was in a smaller group, use the breakout rooms. So these are very important to try to give that added value of engaging participants in a Zoom delivery as you would in a face-to-face. These are things that you need to consider and you're going to want to learn how to utilize. So again, asking questions, raising hands, calling on the participants, unmuting themselves. So let's try it out. I will show you some of the different techniques through Zoom. So first would be utilizing the polling feature. Some instructors don't use this at all. Some do. There are no set questions for the class that you teach. You be creative. You can make whatever questions that's important for the delivery, what you feel is a good knowledge check, what you feel that will help them retain the information, or you can go right off of the post-test questions, pre-test questions, hints, and the instructor guide. Simple knowledge checks. Like I said, be creative. Polls are created only by the host. So you'll need to be logged in as the host, the NDPT Zoom account that you're assigned to. You can do it on zoom.us before the course, or if you click on the Zoom application on the spot, it'll take you to that website. Co-hosts and hosts can launch the poll. So your co-instructor can launch it if the host is doing something else. So just keep these things in mind if you want to utilize the polling feature. So we're going to go over just briefly on how to create these polls.
I'm going to show you 2 ways to add poll question. You can only add poll questions if you are the host. So first can be through zoom.us. You'll have the login so that you can sign in. You'll go to your meeting, scroll all the way down, and create the polls. You'll hit add, title your poll, put the question, is it a single choice or a multiple choice question, and then hit save. That will give you 1 question. If you want to add multiple questions to one question, you can add it right here. Keep in mind that participants will need to answer all of the questions before they can submit. So a participant might ask you, is there a reason why I can't submit my poll responses? Ask them if they submitted the response for all the questions. That will usually be the reason why they can't hit submit. They must have forgotten to answer one of the questions. So this is one way. Now the other way is through the actual interface. So only the host can do this. You can click on polls. I'll show you real quick. This is where you would launch it. These are the different poll questions I have. But if you want to add some poll questions on the spot, you hit edit, then it'll bring you to the website, and then you'll scroll all the way down, and then you'll make your question. So only the host can create questions. The co-host can launch the polling. They cannot create the poll questions. So figure out who you want as the host and the co-host, because there are different roles that they can play when creating a poll question. So again, you can do it through the website to do it beforehand, or if you want to do it during the delivery, you can click on the poll icon on the bottom, and it'll take you to the website so that you can create those poll questions.
Okay, let's move on. So breakout rooms, this is also something you'll want to utilize, like I said, during the activities or for some discussion that would better be suited for smaller groups. The breakout rooms, you will create them, or I'm sorry, the instructor will create them. They can be pre-assigned or randomly assigned. We found success when the breakout rooms are randomly assigned. That's usually the best case scenario, but you can rename the groups. It doesn't have to be group 1, 2, 3, or 4. You can name it emergency managers, law enforcement, fire. You can customize it in that way. But again, recommended randomly assign the group, because people are coming in and out of the meeting room. Like maybe they just drop off internet connection and need to start their computer. So it's easiest for instructors or those that are the hosts to navigate breakout rooms. So let's try that.
All right, I'm gonna go over breakout rooms. Because I'm the host, I have the breakout rooms icon right on the bottom. As participants and even as a co-host, you will not have the breakout room, because it is the role of the host to create the breakout rooms. So I will hit breakout rooms. You'll see all the participants on this list. There's just me. Before you open all rooms, you might want to hit options. These are some preferences that you can change, entirely up to you how you want to do it. You could move the participants automatically into the room, allow them to come in and out, have a set time for the breakout room to be open, and then it'll automatically shut, or like have a countdown, like 30 seconds, and then it'll automatically shut. So that's up to you. And then, so there are a couple things you can pre-assign break rooms if you want, like emergency managers, healthcare workers, fire, law, or it could be randomly assigned. And if it's 20 people, if you want 4 groups, there'll be 5 participants each. So once you hit open all break rooms, an invitation will be given to every participant, indicating which room they're invited to. Then at that point, they will get the breakout room icon on the bottom only when the breakout room is active. You as the host will always see the breakout room, and only as a host, you're the individual that can create the breakout rooms. So before you close the breakout rooms, you could broadcast a message. Hey guys, we have a couple more minutes left. Start wrapping up, and then boom, you can hit close all rooms. Participants can come back into the main room, or it'll automatically close in that 60 seconds.
Okay, just something to go back to the breakout rooms. When you click on the little settings, it would be best if you kept it unchecked, the option where it says put participants directly into the breakout rooms. Keep that unchecked because we want the participants to actually accept the invitation to the breakout rooms. This will help us NDPTC administrative staff to better monitor who's actually present in the class and who stays present for the duration of the class. So please keep that unchecked. We just realize that more and more as we're doing more deliveries, people are leaving mid-class and not returning. So this is a better way for us to gauge that.
All right, I'm gonna.
Sorry. So the activity. Please explain the activity as best as possible before you send the participants off to their breakout groups, because it will take some time, a couple minutes at the least, for you and your co-instructor to make rounds, to touch base with them, just to check in, because there's going to be more groups than there are instructors. So give them the most information as possible and clarify any questions. Make sure that they have the PDF handout of the activity before going to the breakout room. We send it in email, but we'll also drop it in the Zoom group chat. We'll make sure that they have it on hand before going to the activity because they will be lost without it. Some instructors have utilized their own Google Docs, given participant links so that they can use the Google Doc to answer the questions. This gives instructors an idea of how much progress participants are making because you can monitor what's being inputted through the Google Docs. That is not a requirement. People are just being creative in different ways. Again, take additional time to explain the activity and use these breakout rooms to your advantage to get in and talk to groups in a smaller environment. And when you're in there, have people participate. Have them, those that didn't have the camera on, have them turn it on. This is a place where they can actually really discuss and network. And I think there's a lot of value in just being in the breakout rooms. Have them, assign a recorder and someone that's going to report out. This will make it easier and save you guys time when you bring them back into the main meeting room. Taking breaks. So this is always great. You keep it standard. You can keep it standard like how you would normally do it in an actual face-to-face delivery. Be sure to take your breaks. You can maybe want to take shorter breaks or fewer longer breaks. Instead of 2 15s, you want to do 3 10s or sprinkle in a couple 5 minutes. People need to step away from their computer. They need to stand up, reset their eyes, reset themselves along with you. You need to do the same to just kind of like recalibrate. We can move everybody into the waiting room if you and your co-instructor need to reassess together with NDPTC. We can definitely do that. Or everyone just remain in the meeting room. Entirely up to you and where you feel you are with preparation and coordination in between these modules and where you have the break set. All right, so handling issues. Something different happens that we might not have encountered, and it's always important to be prepared. What is your backup plan as a co-instructor? How will you get into communication with your co-instructor and with NDPTC? What is the issue? Can it be fixed in 5 minutes? Is it a tech issue, like a hardware, software? Is it your internet? Is it something in the course material? What is it? Can it be done in 5 minutes? You know what? Can it be fixed in 2 minutes? How will you communicate again with your co-instructor? If it cannot be fixed in 2 to 5 minutes, have your co-instructor take over. How will you let them know that you want them to take over? Do you need to take a quick break? We are more than happy to take a quick break, because it's better than you trying to fix the issue in front of everybody with everybody watching you. You would get less flustered, because I definitely would. Let's go on the side, put everyone in the waiting room, and reassess and figure it out. 5 minutes break, let's do it. It is okay. People are forgiving. This is a different type of platform. Tech issues happen. So communication, taking a break if necessary, assessing, can you fix it in about 2 minutes? What kind of issues going on? Well, I mean, that's pretty much it. Up to now, we've kind of encountered, hopefully, most of the things we'll see, but 4 months-ish into our Zoom deliveries, we're learning something new all the time, and more information will be added along as we go. But generally, the feedback for Zoom deliveries has been positive. People have been thankful. That we've had training. People have been impressed with the quality of instruction and with the knowledge of Zoom familiarity that our instructors have, and with just having NDPTC staff to support with a lot of the technical issues and administrative back-end duties. If you need any help, you need to connect and practice on Zoom, reach out to us, reach out to me. All I can do is advise you when you're assigned to a delivery, work with your co-instructor and practice slide by slide, practice like it's a real delivery, because things do look different on delivery day once you hit share and you start the PowerPoint. And, you know, we just want to minimize as much of any hiccups that can happen, but we are here to support. And, you know, I have no doubt that you will do great. And any feedback from you, I would greatly appreciate. So, all right, you guys have a great day.